Hello and welcome to my new video, and today we are going to discuss, these are the last minute suggestions that I can give you. All the pre-boards papers are done, so most important questions have come to me from different schools, from Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kolkata and many different places. So I will give you all those questions which are just important and you cannot deny them, and you have to prepare them before the exam. First, we will talk about ISE students. ISE students, we will be discussing Dover Beach. It is a bit, not very much, but bit difficult. But if you prepare these questions, I can guarantee you can solve all the questions that come in the exam. Alright, so that's all. Let's move to the video. So we are going to start with Dover Beach. As I told you, the suggestive questions, most important questions we are going to discuss today. First question, long answer questions. Question number 1. How does Arnold relate his thoughts to Sophocles? How is that he imagines that he and Sophocles feels the same and there is no difference between their thoughts and the concepts of that particular time? How are you going to frame this answer? You see, Arnold was sitting by the Dover beach. He was seeing in front of him the French coast. However, whatever he feels is seeing that beauty. He does not feel like a romantic poet. He feels that this is artificial beauty, this is apparent beauty, and he has no escape from it. He has to suffer, live in confusion. Same way, many years back, by the side of agency, Sophocles, the philosopher, the dramatist, the tragedy writer, he was sitting there and he felt the same thing. He felt the same misery which is constant in human being. One has no escape from this misery. Why is Arnold facing this? Because he feels exactly same words you are going to write, because this is very important. So if you prepare these 4 questions from Dover Beach, I can guarantee you almost all the questions you can write that comes in your exam. So Arnold faces this because once upon a time he believed in God, he had complete trust in God. Then there was a development of science and technology, and he suddenly came to know from Darwin that you must have heard of the name of Darwin. So Darwin had stated that this is a biological evolution of man. There is no role played by God, and this is a biological evolution of man for which man has grown into man and not animals. So that was what he stated, and suddenly the believers of God, who had a lot of trust on God, who thought that God created us superior than all others, they suddenly started believing, that they started doubting. God was like the father figure. If you have to doubt your father, it is a lot, no? So it is a suffering. So he suffered because he could not trust his father anymore. He started doubting, and therefore he feels that human misery is common now. And as Sophocles had written those tragedies, and he felt that sadness in human beings, he also wrote about the sadness, the misery of human beings. Okay, the eternal note of sadness in that you can quote over here. Next, question number 2. Let's move to number 2. Yes. Question number 2. Describe the apparent beauty of the land as described by Arnold. Now, apparent beauty, what is important? Repeatedly, I am stressing on this, that he is unlike a romantic poet. A romantic poet, derives a lot of happiness, he's influenced by nature, like Wordsworth, Keats, Shelley. They, even if they saw a bird, or even if they saw just a lake or something, they derived a lot of happiness, just like daffodils. They felt that all your pain can be erased by the beauty of nature. But what Arnold is feeling is something different, because he had seen a lot of he is struggling from inside. He cannot trust his father figure, which is God. He's doubting. He's become a skeptic. Right? So the issue is, he thinks this beautiful land is not actually beautiful. This is just a kind of, this is a kind of gilded shore, like you have read in Merchant of Venice. This is kind of apparent, unreal, artificial. The reality is, there is misery, there is confusion, and throughout the night, we are armies, we are soldiers, and we are fighting without even knowing who we are fighting with and why we are fighting. We don't even know that. We just are on the planet, and we just have to live our life. That is it. So he starts doubting God, he starts feeling a lot of misery from inside. He sees the trust is leaving human beings' mind. There is no trust, no faith in anybody, no love. So he feels that only thing that can cure certain things is love. Okay, so apparent beauty, the land is seemingly so beautiful. It has the moonlit, moon-blanched shore. It has the moon-blanched water. Okay, there is Dover Beach in front of him. There is the French coast, the gleaming waters. Everything is so beautiful. Even then, this is just the outward show he feels, because inside him there is no happiness. This beauty cannot give him any extra happiness. There is no happiness that can be brought to him any longer when he has no trust in God. Alright. Next, we'll move to question number 3. Discuss the poem Dover Beach as a dramatic monologue. This is another significant question, dramatic monologue. You see, what is a dramatic monologue? When I am speaking, I know I am speaking to you, but you cannot respond, or you are, for some reason, you are not responding. I am not talking to myself, I am talking to you, just that you are not responding back. So this is a dramatic monologue. Here in the poem Dover Beach, when he starts explaining, when he starts describing the beauty of the beach, we feel that he's just talking to himself. He just talks to himself about the beauty of the land, of the piece of land. But then again, we start to realize that he is talking to somebody, because he calls that lady close to him so that he can also enjoy the beauty of the land, right? He calls that lady to the window to see the beauty of the land. So that's all about the first point. If there are 2 points, then this is the first point. Next point that we are going to mention over here is, even in the end, when he has talked about all the misery, all the sadness, all the loss of faith, he starts talking to that person again. He says that we need to be true to one another. This land has no reality, no happiness, no peace, nothing. So only thing that can cure everything around is that love. And we should be true to one another, so that all this impurity around, all that faithlessness around can be erased. That is the only escape. So that is all about dramatic monologue. Question number 4. Write in detail about the retreating faith with reference to the background of the poem. So it is the retreating faith. See, faith, here, that is all about the poem, isn't it? The retreating faith. Slowly, faith is retreating. Once upon a time, there was the gilded shore. There was this earth all around. Sorry, not a gilded shore. All around it was like a belt, isn't it? Like a belt of faith around earth. It was just like the water belt. Just like when you see the earth, you see so many water bodies around. Blue land. It is just like a belt. Faith was also like that sea of faith. That's why it was like a belt that the earth was wearing. All right. But now what has happened? Now the sea has retreated. Sea of faith, that means faith in the minds of people, that also has retreated. And now what remains is the naked shingles, the naked stones, and it shows how human beings are left all alone without the Father's care, without God's care. They cannot trust God. They are in a place which can be called nowhere. There is almost everywhere around them is confusion and nothing. So that is the retreating faith that he talks about over here. Here again, as it is mentioned background of the poem, you also have to mention about Darwin, what he stated, and which caused the doubt among many people who trusted God. That is all about the background. So here we come to an end to today's topic, which is Dover Beach. Almost all the important questions are discussed over here. You need to prepare these 4 questions, and I can guarantee you can solve all the questions from Dover Beach. That's all. Hope to see you in my next video. We will keep preparing so that we have no doubts, no queries when the exam paper comes in front of us. Alright, that's all.